Welcome to the Secrets of College Planning. I'm your host, Anthony Uva, and today we're going to get some insight on admissions. My guest today is Jennifer Kanellis, and she's the Director of Admissions at Kean University. And welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So I usually start my guests where they went to school. So where did you go to school?
I went to a medium-sized liberal arts college up in Westchester, New York, Pace University.
Oh, okay.
I earned my bachelor's degree in applied psychology and human relations there.
Great. And any schools after that, or?
I did. I went on to pursue my master's degree in school counseling from New York Institute of Technology.
Oh, good. Fantastic. So how did you get from going to school to Director of Admissions? Give me the process.
Sure. Well, I guess it's about a decade-year-long process. I started my career in higher education shortly after graduating from Pace. I was such a fan of my alma mater that I really wanted to become a recruiter for the school and wound up becoming an admissions counselor for Pace. And I loved it. It was so much fun. I really found so much reward in working with students and families and helping to select their, the best college fit for them. And it was easy to talk about the school because I was a graduate of the school. And so really I fell in love with higher education right after college.
Wow.
I moved on to a graduate admissions role, and after that I moved on to the online division and spearheaded the online admissions process for online. So I got an incredible amount of experience working with a wide range of students, from traditional freshmen to transfer to graduate to international. And so when I relocated to New Jersey, I was looking for a school where I could get back to my roots and start working with undergraduate students again. So I found Kean.
And so Kean University, you became the Director of Admissions right from the get-go?
I did, yeah. I was hired just over a year ago. And they are really a progressive institution with some really wonderful, exciting things happening at Kean. And so I was hired as the Director of Admissions, overseeing undergraduate and graduate enrollment.
Oh, fantastic. So now, usually the process, it's probably a very tedious process, but give us the admissions process at Kean University, or any university really. What's the admissions process?
Well, I would say it depends on who you are. Some students start the college search process as early as their freshman or sophomore year for very ambitious students. And I would recommend starting the process as early as at least the sophomore year, or at least having that kitchen table conversation with the parents, and talking about what really interests you to make sure that you're starting to get a narrow focus. With over 3,000 colleges and universities in the country, it's a difficult choice.
Sure.
And many families don't know where to go or how to start that process. So there's a lot of college search tools out there that help you to narrow your focus, to identify what size campus you're looking for, if you're looking for an all girls, an all boys, what type of environment you want to be in. Are you interested in the sun or the slopes? It's really an interesting process for students. So, for Kean students, typically in their sophomore year, they're, trying to learn about Kean. Maybe they're piquing their interest about what Kean has to offer. But by their junior year, they're really starting to do the college, visits and coming to campus for a tour or for open house, meeting with faculty, current Kean students. And then senior year is when they start the application process. The application opens as early as September 1, and that's when they start the application process.
So now at Kean University, do they go through a particular process? Do you have admissions representatives that go to the different schools in the area? How does the process work for the school?
Absolutely. So from an admissions recruitment standpoint, we start doing college visits in the fall, probably around late September. And we go to individual high schools across the state and within the TriState Area, and all the way down to Maryland, out into Pennsylvania. But we're a state institution, so we really try to cover, our bases across the entire state of New Jersey.
Okay.
So we'll do college fairs at high schools across the state, and then we also engage in national college fairs. NACAC host national college fairs at some big convention centers like New York at the Jacob Javits. And
Sure.
so really we really try to connect with as many students on the road and their families as possible. We call it recruitment season is the fall season, and that's when we're out on the road speaking with mostly juniors and seniors,
Right.
and while they're completing their applications. And when we get back from the road about the first week of December, that's when our counselors really shift their focus to application file review.
Okay, so now the springtime is the application file review.
Yeah, I would say the springtime is the application file review. We start off reading in November, and then we're on a rolling admission basis. So what that means is that students can apply as early as September, but really we accept applications all the way up until August 1.
Wow.
So we're constantly reviewing applications. Of course, for a traditional freshman applicant, we always strongly suggest that they apply as early as possible, and definitely by December 1. We even have an early action option so that students can apply early and then also receive their decision earlier than most.
So now, is there, when they come to the school, what is it that appeals to students to come to Kean University?
So what appeals to students that come to Kean? I would say Kean has a long-standing history in the state of New Jersey. We were founded as Newark State Teachers College over 160 years ago. So there's definitely a lot of Kean alum across the state. So I think students are oftentimes legacies even, and they're coming to the campus because they have a parent that graduated there. But Kean has come a long way in 160 years. We were founded as a teachers college and remain to be one of the largest producers of teachers in the state of New Jersey.
Wow.
For the past 3 consecutive years, we've been named, our Kean alum have been named State Teachers of the Year. So we're very proud of our heritage in that respect. But today they find more cutting edge types of really career-driven degree programs in business, in architecture, in even the STEM science fields. So there's a variety of different options to choose from at Kean.
Yeah.
Whether you're interested in studying one of our 50 undergraduate degree programs or one of our over 80 graduate degree options, there's really something for everyone. But what I like to say about Kean is that it's all about access. There's the opportunity for students to earn this world-class education, but not every institution can provide a world-class education at such an affordable rate. So we offer the most comprehensive education at the deepest discounted rate in the state.
Wow. So now that brings up a question: financial aid or monies at the school. Because it's a small school, is there any monies available at the school that parents can look at?
Absolutely. I think that our scholarship offerings is probably one of the most under notified, or people don't know about them. We have such robust financial aid and scholarship offerings. Students can apply for financial aid for the very traditional grants and loans. But if you apply to Kean, you're automatically going to be evaluated for a merit-based incentive award. And that's based on admission criteria. So that's based on your academic coursework.
Okay.
And those range anywhere from $2,000 per year all the way up to full in-state tuition.
Wow.
So there's quite a bit of scholarship opportunities. And then of course, federal financial aid is always an option as well.
So now there are extracurricular activities at the school, clubs, things like that?
Absolutely. So Kean is actually one of the most diverse campuses in the nation. And so by being one of the most diverse campuses in the nation, we have a diverse set of clubs, organizations, special interest groups that you can be a part of. We have 13 different Division III athletic teams, and then of course any type of club or cultural heritage club that you'd like to be a part of, special interest clubs. It's really all there.
Wow. So, and degrees, what type of degrees do you look at as well?
Sure. So we have over 50 different undergraduate degree options right now. Of those degree options, some of the most popular are criminal justice, biology, psychology, communications. But what we're really focusing on right now is developing career-driven programs so that will lead students directly to career fields. And so we've developed honors curriculums. And so we've developed honors curriculums in sustainability studies, in the STEM field. We are home of New Jersey's Center for Science, Technology, and Mathematics, which is a center of excellence in the state. We have also developed the Global Business Honors Program, which is really the hot term for international business these days, with really a commitment to global education and placing our students in areas around the world where they will experience different business opportunities.
So do you find a lot of international students that come to the school as well?
Our international student population is smaller than I think I'd like it to be. We've been so focused on servicing our statewide students, but I do see in the future that we'll, expand in that market.
That's fantastic. So give me the process of the school when they get these applications in, I guess, August, September. They start coming in, right?
Yeah.
What's the process that the student is taking throughout the I guess the year?
The year from the time that they start applying.
Yeah, from I guess August until March.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
So I would say for a traditional applicant, they might submit their application, or start their application process with maybe a college advisor that they're working with at their high school or even on their own. And when they're gathering all their application documents, that's really what will help them complete their application. So before they even apply, sometimes they're really narrowing down, where am I going to apply? So once they've determined where they're going to apply, they'll submit the application. Kane accepts the common application as well as the kane.edu application. So you can apply online directly at kane.edu. And then we look for a variety of supplemental items. So we ask every student for their high school transcript, standardized test scores, whether it's the SAT or the ACT. We also look for 2 letters of recommendation and an essay.
Wow.
Those last 2 requirements are not required. They're really more strongly recommended than required. But I always advise students to submit them because your transcript alone and standardized test scores doesn't always paint the picture of what a student's academic potential is.
And that brings up something. A lot of parents say, oh, SATs and ACTs, they got to be so high to get into some of these schools. What are the ranges for some of the schools? Is there a range that each school takes?
Sure. I mean, I think every school has their set admission requirements or preferred minimum admission requirements. And so, Kane is, earlier I said Kane's all about access. And I think that Kane is about access too for students across the state. And we have a variety of different admission programs that we can admit students to, whether they fall into that very average score of a 3.0 high school GPA or about 1,000 on the SAT. We just look at the critical reading and math component, not the writing section, and we'll continue to with the new SAT as well. But like I said, we have honors curriculums that require students to have higher scores than that so that they can really compete with the academic rigor in those types of programs. And then we have programs for individuals that maybe their scores fall slightly low, but there's indicators in their academic history that would really prove that they could be wonderful additions to the Kane community and that they really do have the academic potential to succeed.
So you're placing students where they academically fit. So the students that are more brainiacs, they do well in different type of classes than the ones not as I don't know, challenged, I guess.
Potentially, yeah. Overall we're looking for a pretty average, type of score of a 3.0 and about 1,000 on the SAT. But absolutely, for the students that we'd like to be able to provide opportunity to and access to, we also want to ensure that we're going to be able to provide them with the academic support that they need in order to succeed.
Yeah.
So even though sometimes students aren't awarded admission, it's really just because we want to make sure that we're admitting students that can succeed at the college, and so that's our main objective.
So now I've had a couple of admissions people that have come onto the show, and I'm always wondering about a certain thing that parents always bring to me. Is there some type of quota that admissions has that schools have? Can you debunk that? How does this all work?
Can we debunk that? A quota. I wouldn't say that we have a set quota. I mean, every schools have enrollment goals or enrollment targets. We're really looking to bring in a diverse class of talented students that can really contribute to our campus community.
Yeah.
So I don't know that it's just about a number, and there's definitely not a sole focus in specific areas. I think that what we're looking for is students that are a good fit for Kean. And so, some schools might have very specific quotas in certain areas, but as a large state institution, we are really committed to providing that access and really bringing in students that are going to really match that of the community.
So now, usually when they get to the Christmas holiday area for admissions representatives, and they're looking at all these applications, I mean, you're looking at piles of applications from diverse amounts of different kids.
Yeah.
How do they go through the process? How do they weed out which ones are good, not as good, go on this pile, that pile? How does someone go through something like that?
Well, and it's back in the day, we did have piles of folders, on an admissions counselor's desk, and right now everything's really electronic driven, since they're submitting their applications online and submitting their high school transcripts online. So what's really nice about that is that we have the tools and technology that helps us stay efficient in our review process, so that we don't have to miss any part of the application. Really, when we're looking for students, when we're reviewing a student's application, we're looking at it very holistically. Of course, we have these really preset average indicators of what a student would need to succeed at Kean, and that's 3.0 roughly GPA. But we really don't look there first. I would say that when a student submits their application, I'm first looking at their physical application.
Sure.
What information have they provided to me that I wouldn't have known by just looking at their high school transcript or just looking at their SAT scores? So we're asking on the application for areas of interest, so that they can indicate to us that they're interested in a specific athletic team, or if they're interested in community service types of programs. Then I know that this already might be a good fit for the student. They've already kind of done their research. Then we move on to reviewing their essay, their personal statement, because that's really the voice that the student has in their application. That's where they can share with us what they want us to know about them. Then we look at the letters of recommendation, so that we can review what maybe their employers or even current faculty members have to say about their academic aptitude. Then we'll look at the high school transcript and SAT scores.
So now, once you reach a goal of admissions, do you just stop, or is it where you say to these kids, no, you go into the spring semester or next year, or what happens when you still have a lot more kids that you're interested in, but you don't have the room anymore?
We're pretty committed. I mean, I think that there's, to making sure that students have their admission decision before the term starts. So we give admissions decisions on a rolling admission basis. So if a student applies by, say, January 1, they should expect to receive their admissions decision within approximately a month. And the bulk of our applications are really received between that December 1 and that March 1st deadline. So the bulk of them are really all kind of received. And then after that time, we're pretty quick in getting admission decisions out right away. And then, of course, we accept applications up until August 1. So on some programs, like our STEM program, they have a very hard March 1 deadline. Some of our design programs or theater programs, they have earlier deadlines. And so if you've applied after the fact, we might invite you to select a different major to be considered for. But historically, and our goal is to make sure that everyone has an admissions decision. And luckily, we're a large enough institution with enough faculty that we can maintain that 25 student class size and still open up more space if a student meets the academic profile, and we can admit them.
So now, what's some of the differentiators for the school?
Okay, so I love that question. What makes Kean different than every other institution that's out there? And I would say there's a few key advantages to attending Kean. One is definitely the affordability factor. With what's going on in higher education today and families really not wanting to accumulate a lot of debt after graduation, the conversation about affordability is probably more prominent now than I think ever before.
Sure.
So knowing that you can really obtain this world-class education, maybe even in your backyard right here, and not have to travel too far out of state and get to benefit from that in-state tuition rate is quite a significant key differentiator, since we are the most affordable education in the state of New Jersey.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one indicator, or differentiator. Another, I would say, is potentially location. People are often surprised to know that Kean sits on over 185 acres of beautiful, lush green space. And when you step on campus, you really feel this collegiate atmosphere. But surrounding you are these brand new state-of-the-art facilities. And so really there's this nice balance between a very traditional college campus feel with the skateboards and some frisbees on the lawn, with really this dedication to technology. And it's quite incredible that our state institution is able to provide different types of technology. Students can utilize our cave. Our cave is an area where students can actually see a 3D model of the heart, and they can stand in the middle of it. And we have a planetarium on campus. There's really a lot of opportunities for students to get hands-on in their education at Kean.
Yeah.
And then one of the final differentiators is, I would say, the diversity. Kean is extremely diverse. I mentioned earlier, one of the most diverse colleges in the nation, and has been rated by Diversity Inc. as one of the most diverse colleges in the nation. And what's so great about that is that students who are interested in really diving into a cultural experience, they can do that at Kean, and really benefit from the diversity of thought in the classroom and even outside of the classroom. So
that's great. Do they get involved in a lot of the community as well?
Absolutely. Kean has really promoted a culture of caring. Kean has been, for the past 5 consecutive years, ranked on President Obama's Community Service Honor Roll.
Wow.
We are constantly giving back to the community, whether we are building community gardens or raising money for homeless and building shelters. There's really so much that's happening at Kean that is really committed to our own community and then the larger community around us.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So now, the representatives that are going to the high school, how do they go about finding these students?
I would say, well, when we go around to the high schools, we typically go to college fairs, so we're invited, or we go on a private visit where we schedule an appointment and then advertise that Kean will be there that day. So more often than not, students are self-selecting that they're interested in Kean, and they do that by word of mouth. Maybe they've received some literature from us. Maybe they've visited campus, or like I said earlier, maybe a legacy graduated from Kean. But Kean is really a household name, and so oftentimes students are kind of self-selecting that they're interested in learning a little bit more about Kean. And what's great about our admissions counselors, we have an entire team that's really dedicated and passionate about helping students find the perfect fit. So it's really nice that we can be in their communities, come to them, and help answer any questions that they might have to help them narrow down their search.
And are you going just the TriState area, which is New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, or do you go into Pennsylvania as well?
We do. We go into Pennsylvania. We'll actually be in Pennsylvania later on at the end of the month. And we go down to Delaware, we do Maryland, and we really do try to cover the entire state.
Wow, that's fantastic. So your reach is quite broad. Do you ever get kids from outside that area as well?
We do. We get students from a variety of different areas around the nation, predominantly from the New York area. Staten Island is so close to Kean. But really, we're starting to see greater interest in Southern Florida, Southern California.
Wow.
So I'd like to see our recruiters head out to those directions fairly soon, so that we can meet some of the students that are in those areas as well.
And alumni at the school, when they graduate from Kean University, what are they looking at?
What are they looking at? I would say graduates of Kean, so many of them continue on to get their graduate degree from Kean. We have a large population of students that are really, they're just proud alum. We call them double Kean alums. So they go on to get their graduate degrees, they travel, and then of course so many of them find jobs immediately after graduation with either the help of their faculty advisors or some professors that they've worked with, or even our career development team.
Fantastic. Well, we're coming to the end of our show. Usually I ask my guests, what advice do you want to give the parents that are out there, their sons and daughters that want to go to a school like Kean University? What advice would you like to give them?
I would say, what I say to everybody is no matter where you are in the college search process, it's important to not just visit the campus once, but maybe visit twice. Get to know what the campus feels like, see what the food tastes like, see what the students are like. Really get to even meet with some of the faculty members. Even if you're undecided on what it is you want to study, an open house is a really great opportunity for students to come, mingle with deans, faculty members, current students, and then come back again. Come back for a private tour. Even once you're accepted, come back for an accepted student event. That's really what's going to give parents and students that informed information so that they can make an informed decision, and really that their gut instinct will tell them, if they're making a good choice. And I can confidently say that students that are selecting Kean, I'm confident in their decision. We have so much to offer for them, including a wide array of international opportunities. Kean also has a campus in Wenzhou, China, one of only 3 American institutions in China. So whether you come to Kean and study at the Union campus or in China, or even down the shore at our Toms River campus in Ocean County Community College, there's really a lot of access that's provided to Kean students. And so I encourage students to come visit.
Great. Well, thank you very much for coming to the show. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So you've been watching The Secrets of College Planning. I'm your host, Anthony Uva. Until next time.